Oh, good morning. So I figured I will do this video and get it done now before I get my day going and started. But I want to start off with the peppers. While I'm doing this, you guys are actually seeing the red pepper jelly video. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. And I'm using these. This is a shepherd pepper. I was about to say shepherd's pepper, but it's a shepherd pepper. Um, it's This is a red pepper, so you can see the difference between the two. These are not easy for me to find. I very seldom actually find these in my grocery store. So when I finally found them and they were 77 cents a pound, yes. um, I picked some up. Now you could use a red pepper, just if you can't find these, you can use a red pepper. The only difference between these is this pepper is thicker. It has a much, sorry guys, these are so cold. This has a thicker skin and it's actually sweeter and it's juicier than a red pepper. Now this one, I think it has pretty thick skin because well, it's kind of orange still. I don't think it was quite ripe when it was picked, but that's okay. But these do tend, like, yeah, they're sweet, but they do have that a little bit bitter crisp to them, where these ones do not have that. So these are the ones that you really want to aim for if you are doing a sweet jelly, like a savory jelly. I'm gonna go put these back in my fridge. So just one moment. I just wanted to show you that this is shepherd pepper right here. This is what it looks like. It's not a chili pepper. It's a shepherd's pepper. You just gotta make sure you're buying the right one, not a chili pepper. Okay, so one moment. I'm gonna go put these back in my fridge. Something warm. Um, but yes, that is what a shepherd's pepper looks like. It's sweeter, it has a thicker skin, which makes it great for canning. And this is still really hot. Sorry, I was just stirring my honey in because my honey hadn't quite dissolved in there yet. Um, Now another thing I wanted to kind of bring up was that a lot of people were asking me how I got my basil plants as big as I did. What's the trick? The trick is, number one, know your growing climate. I'm a zone 5B, I think. Can't remember if it's A or B, but I'm zone 5. Um, so I actually have a great area to grow basil in, as long as I put it where there's lots of sun. And so hence I put it on the back of my house. So it's facing the south, and we all know that south sun's gorgeous. So I plant it there. Also, another key tip is, well, with the sweet basil anyway, with those with the Greek basil or the pesto basil, whatever you want to call it, they actually just, that's naturally how they grow. I just left them. I wasn't sure what to do with them because this was my first year growing those. So I figured I'll just leave them and see what happens. And I took care of them no different than I would with the sweet basil. The only difference was is I just, watered. They had lots of food, and by food I mean I put that manure in the dirt and the peat moss in there. I didn't do anything else other than that, and watered them. And that's about it with those. But the sweet basil, when the plant is growing, you might notice how you get these little tiny seed pods. They're little seed pods that are starting to grow. If you snip those off, like I just go along with my fingernail, my thumb and my fingernail type thing, and just pick them out, it forces the plant to actually grow out. So it will start getting much larger and you'll end up with a massive plant in the end. So that's really the trick, is knowing basil loves sun. So make sure it gets lots of sun. Like mine got sun from the time it came up till the time it went down. And they love water. They do like being watered. I watered them every day. And they also love the heat, so that also really helped because this year we had a lot of heat. But also this, now some of you guys have actually figured out, I do come from a line of farmers. My grandfather was a dairy farmer, then he turned to a veal farmer. And don't think when I say a veal farmer that I'm talking about baby cows. Okay, there's more than one type of veal. The cows that my grandfather deals with, or used to deal with anyway, they got up to, I can't remember what the weight is. but they're closer to 2 years old by the time they're actually sent to the slaughterhouse. So not all veal is a baby cow. Um, but anyway, I just want to put that out there. So like my grandfather's a farmer. Um, so my grandfather is, my father was, pretty much all my uncles are as well. My aunts love gardening. Well, my one aunt does anyway, for sure. Um, and so forth. So yes, I do come from a line of farmers. So I can very easily just make a phone call if I'm really stuck with something. But I recently, not recently, it was a couple years ago, but for me it's recently, um, purchased this book. Now this won't be good for any Americans or anybody else that watches, but great for Canadians. I picked up this book here, the Canadian Encyclopedia of Gardening. This thing is awesome. It has all of our zones in it. It tells you what plants will actually grow here and which ones will not. Um, how to care for them, how to deal with them, everything is in here. And then there's a little section in here for pests and disease and bugs and stuff like that. Um, Now I have learned that it doesn't, unless you know the scientific name for what you're trying to look up, have fun. Because almost everything in here is under its scientific name, which that can be a little bit frustrating. But as long as you can figure it out, you're good. But I do love that book. It's an amazing book. It wasn't cheap, but it's well worth it to invest in it if you really want to get serious about gardening, herbs, and all that kind of stuff. There's section on fruit trees in there. So yeah, there's fruit trees, fruits, vegetables, your herbs, flowers, even pretty much everything's in there. And then your growing seasons and your zones and stuff like that. Um, I'll leave a link down below for that book if you guys if you guys wish to check it out. The link will be down there. Oh, one moment. Okay, sorry about that. Um, so yes, great book. But growing basil, it's really not difficult. It needs sun. It loves sun. And like I said, as long as you pick off those little pieces that keep growing out of the plant, because what the plant is trying to do is to go to seed and to flower, but you can actually force it to stop doing that and to continue growing and getting larger just by removing those little stalks. And you have to go around the entire plant every so often and do it. It can be a pain in the butt, but you end up with a really large plant in the end. And as long as it's healthy, it will keep growing. Lots of water, they like sun, and they like heat. So that's why I don't. And okay, also, actually, somebody asked if I keep seeds. No, I don't. I don't bother. I just can't be bothered. I know how lazy that sounds. I'm fully aware of it, but I just can't be bothered because if I try and start seeds in my house anymore, my cat destroys them or my kids try and water them. And not kids, there's one in particular, but I really don't want to call them out. Um, they will still water my plants for me. So I just don't bother because I end up having to go to the nursery and buy plants anyway. So it's just like, don't bother. Just start with fresh plants every year. So yes, that's I don't save seeds. Do I know how to do it? Yes, I do. Do I? No. And it's actually not that difficult to save seeds. It's extremely easy. Um, so yes, but sorry, I don't. But I think that covered all the questions I got. Was the basil, how I got the basil that big. It is super simple. Like I said, just go along and snip those little growths off of it and you're golden. Um and the shepherd pepper. um so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I answered the questions. If I didn't, leave them down below and I will do my best to get to them. I'm sorry. I know I'm getting behind in comments, but I am rather busy at the moment, and it's just because there's a lot of stuff going on here right now. So I'm getting to them when I can. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.